So I quit teaching to start a calligraphy business. I was just so over teaching. I couldn't take it anymore. The stress, the anxiety, the toll on my mental health, the demands of the job with the very little pay. I just couldn't take it anymore. I taught for 7 years. I taught a variety of different grades, but the last grade I taught was the last position I had was 6th and 7th grade ELA, but before that I was in 5th grade ELA, and actually 5th grade was the group of kids, was the grade I was in the longest out of my teaching career. I've seen a lot of things, especially during the pandemic, how they really do not care about us. They don't care. They were just trying to get as much out of us as possible. They were still treating us as though we were still in the building under regular circumstances, and they expected results, and they expected us to teach as though we were in regular circumstances. And I already knew teaching was tough, and I already knew it was a career that people didn't really give too much respect to, but that really showed me how people feel about teachers. The way admin and all these other people were, trying to make it seem like we had to show up and be these huge superheroes in a time like what was going on, like in a time like the pandemic. It was crazy. And I know for a fact that I suffered a lot. My health suffered in every single way. My spiritual health, my mental health, my physical health, all aspects of my health suffered, during my teaching career, but especially during the time that we were dealing with that pandemic. In education, there's a lot of lying and cheating, deception, so much. Admin lies to the parents all the time. They tell the parents one thing: oh yeah, your kid will get their services. Oh yeah, your kid is a B student, or whatever. Your kid is a C student. And that's not true. There's a lot of deception, and there's a lot of pressure to fake grades or to inflate grades. They want their grades to look a certain kind of way, but then the test scores don't match. I'm not gonna go too much into a rant about why teaching sucks because I feel like that's all over the internet, and I love watching these videos because they make me feel so validated, like, yes, I'm not the only one. It makes me feel like I'm not alone. But what I will talk about is why I chose to leave teaching for a calligraphy business. I'm the type of teacher that I am always motivating my kids. I'm always telling them what they can do. You got this, whatever their dreams are, let's see how we gonna get there. That's how I am. And I've had my students make vision boards. I've had my students talk about what they want to be when they get older. And, I've made posters with their careers. So it could just be in front of them. And then what I started doing during the pandemic, because honestly, I was just scraping for stuff to fill the time because I didn't know every single day what I was doing. And then one particular Monday, I was scraping, trying to put something together real quick for the day. And I came across the Whistle channel. And the Whistle channel has a lot of great motivational videos. Like, a lot of them are kids too. Superstar athletes, business owners, inventors. Amazing things these kids are doing. And so I got the idea. I said, you know what? Every Monday, we're going to do Motivation Monday. And we're going to watch a video, preferably of a kid, somebody as close to their age as possible. I started this with the 5th grade. And afterwards, we would talk about it. And it was an opportunity for me to show these kids different career paths, different passions that they could pursue, things that they probably never knew they would be interested in. Now they see other kids their age doing these things. And so because of that, it just became a thing. And I kept it from the pandemic, from 2020 until this year, 2023, when I finally left teaching for good. So Motivation Monday became part of our regular routine. And so I'm always talking to these kids: you guys can do it. You can start a business. You can do this. You can do that. And in the same instance, I'm like, I'm not happy with my career. I'm not happy being a teacher. I want out. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a teacher anymore. This sucks. I love my kids and I love having fun with my kids. But the way the system is set up, the way parenting is set up these days, the way admin doesn't, there's barely any consequences for the kids. They get a slap on the wrist and come back to class with a bag of chips, you know, whenever you send them out. It's not worth it. And then the way they playing with our money, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got new teachers coming in with all this extra money, right? And they're coming in higher steps than what they qualify for, right? But then those of us who stayed throughout the turmoil, who stayed through the treachery, we don't get anything extra in our paychecks. We didn't get a bonus. We didn't get anything that said, hey, thanks for toughing it out during the pandemic. Here's a little extra something in your paycheck. We didn't get any of that. As a matter of fact, the district I was working for when we were online, we didn't even get staff computers. I had to use my own personal computer, my Surface, to teach online. You know, and my Surface has since gone kaput. It no longer works, and I'm really upset about that. So, you know, they really don't care about the sacrifices that we make and everything. For me personally, I thought about it one day. I said, all the work and energy I put into this career, the sleepless nights, you know, tossing and turning, can't sleep, barely getting sleep. And then I got to wake up early to prepare for that day. And I got to go in early to prepare for that day. I got to sacrifice my lunch to prepare for the rest of the day. And it starts all over again, you know, sacrificing nights and weekends and stuff. As a few years went by, I stopped doing that. I was like, look, I'm not sacrificing my weekends anymore. If it doesn't get done by Friday, when it's time for me to leave, it is what it is. So when I thought about it, I said, all this work that I'm putting into this career, what could I do? What could I accomplish if I was to really put this behind something I truly love and I'm truly passionate about? I really thought about that. These 12-hour days, 13-hour days that sometimes you're working as a teacher, what could you accomplish if you were putting that kind of time and energy in something that you love? Whether it's cooking, sewing, what's it called when you do the yarn? Knitting. I was about to say yarning. Knitting, home decor, art, whatever. What could you put that same time and energy towards that could actually pay you way more, that could actually give you more in the long run? And so once I started thinking like that, I said, I gotta get out of here. I have to get out of here. And through a lot of prayer and just talking to good friends and coaching and all that other stuff, I made the decision that I was going to leave. I knew at the beginning of the 22-23 school year that I was not, this was my last year. I kept saying it. I was like, this is my last year teaching. This is my last year teaching. I got to get out. This is it. This is it for me. This is my last year. Now, what ended up happening was I didn't even stay in the same district the whole school year. I ended up being in a district for about half the year. And then I finished up my time. I finished up the year at a different district. And that second district was tough. So the district I left, I had amazing kids. My kids were very nice and respectful. When people would say things like, these kids are so disrespectful these days, I dealt with a little attitude, but it was nothing extreme at my last district with my 5th graders. But when I went to my second district with the 6th and 7th graders, ooh, that was a different animal. Oh my goodness, especially with the 7th graders. But I had nicer admin. So it's always going to be, you're never going to have a perfect situation, because where I came from, I was not feeling the admin, the setup, none of that, the way things were being run. And my second school was a hot mess too, and in its own ways, but then in some ways it was better. Ever since I made up my mind, I now have a business name. My business name is SP Ekriti, and Ekriti is, I'm Haitian, and Ekriti comes from, is the Haitian Creole word that means handwriting. So SP is my initials, and then Ekriti. So, you know, in Creole, you say Ekriti, but in English, you know, you will pronounce it Ekriti. So I have a EIN number. You know, my business is registered. I'm so excited. It's scary though. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's scary. It's so scary. I'd be lying to you if I told you I'm 100% ready. And no, this is scary because I don't know anybody in my real life that has a calligraphy business. I know a lot of hairstylists, I know nail techs, I know makeup artists, lash techs. I don't know anybody in my immediate circle that does calligraphy. So it's something new that I'm bringing into my space. And then, to make a success out of it, I really, really have to work hard. And I know that. But again, all that work I put into my teaching career, I know that I can put that same work into this business and into this brand of SP Ekriti, and I know that I will be successful. I just have to be consistent and have to show up, So right now I'm building this YouTube channel. I have my Instagram, and I'm gonna just stick to those two for now. I also have a TikTok, but I'm not trying to overwhelm myself. Everything is of the same name, SP Ekriti. One thing is, I never really thought about doing a business with this until this woman I started following on Instagram. Her name is Sheena, and she has her calligraphy business is called Crooked Calligraphy. And she popped up on my timeline on my Instagram feed one day, and I just was like, okay, who's this? Curious and stuff. Long story short, ended up, taking a free course with her and all this other stuff. And she did a Facebook group where she did a few calligraphy lessons for free. And she also discussed having calligraphy as a business. And this was like top of last year, like maybe March 2022. And I'm like, a business? I never thought about making a business. I just wanted to learn it, just because it looks pretty. And she just, every doubt you think you could possibly have, she covers it. And even her channel, her YouTube channel, does an amazing job at just making you comfortable with the idea of starting a business. And she's even had students on that she's interviewed and asked them about, how they took her courses, learned what they had to learn, and then made it into a business. And at that point, I was looking to leave teaching. I just didn't know where I was going to go next or which way I was going to turn to. But, I said, okay, you know what? Let me see about this. I've even had friends for a while saying, girl, you're really good. You could do this as a business. I'm like, no, it's just a hobby. Or people would be coming asking me how much I charge for stuff. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll do it for free. They're like, no, how much do you charge? And I'm like, okay, then I'll come up with a price. But I would still feel uncomfortable because I didn't think of it as a business. It wasn't something I wasn't trying to do as a business at the time, So anyways, with Sheena and Crooked Calligraphy, she really helped me see, wow, this is possible. And then, I bought her course, and it was some of the best money I ever spent. I learned so much, and I have lifetime access to it. So if there's something else I need to know, I can go back and learn, go over some information again. When I tell you, this woman tells you everything to get started. She just uploaded a business checklist. So things that you need to have in order for your business to be successful, paperwork and all this government stuff. And she also talks about having a successful Instagram. Just so much stuff is in that course. So it was money well spent. And I already told myself, I'm not going back to school. I'm not getting another degree. I will not go back to school for another degree. I'm not going to go back and get my master's in anything. I have my bachelor's, and I was very clear about I didn't want to go get my master's. I didn't want to go back to school. That was not an option for me. I said, what is it that I'm already good at, that I love already, that I can turn into a career, and into a new career? And I love writing. I love lettering. And as a matter of fact, at the last school I was at, I did a cursive club. And shout out to my cursive club crew. If you see this video, we have fun, and that's why I said, that's what I'm going to do. I feel like I left an abusive relationship, I feel like, I was at work, and I would go to work and I would be there and not be happy, come home and, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to work. And then the next day do it all over again. And what would be terrible is every year they would promise things would be different. They would make all these promises. This year it's going to be like this, and this year it's going to be like that. and then you see that they don't keep those promises. And then as a matter of fact, this year is probably worse than last year. Usually that's how it goes. So, you know, I decided to make this video because I want to inspire others to just say, you know what? I have options. I have choices. I don't have to stay stuck somewhere that I'm not happy. And also in education, you know, I just did not want to be that person that is miserable. I hate my job every day, or I'm counting down till the next break. Okay, 5 days till we're off, you know, oh, 2 more weeks until whatever break, or, you know, 1 more week until whatever vacation. And I don't want to live like that. I want to be happy with what I do. Yeah, there's no perfect career. There's no perfect career. You're always going to have ups and downs everywhere you go. But then there are some places that it's worth it a little bit more, especially if you're building your own brand. You're building, you know, you're building your own brand and something that you own. You know, there's going to be a lot of tough times, especially in the beginning when you're trying to get, you know, you're trying to build that foundation. But at least you know it's something you put together and something that you built on, and you never know what other opportunities it'll open up for you. I know right now though, I know that, you know, I might have to do a little bit of subbing, because realistically, I can't just think that, you know, I'm gonna go into calligraphy business and everything's gonna blow up in 2 seconds. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. I still need to, you know, make a little bit of money and stuff. So I would like for my, maybe do a little subbing, or probably go into a completely different job for now until my calligraphy business is up and running for real, and I can live just off of that. That's the goal, to eventually just live off of my calligraphy business. But I don't mind subbing. Subbing is way less responsibility than being a full-time teacher, and I can make my schedule. I can choose what days I want to go in, what days I want to stay, and I know it's less money than teaching, but that's okay. I'm okay with that, because, you know, as I sub, make the little money from subbing, I can still make some money from my calligraphy business. I will make money from my calligraphy business. I know I'm just getting things started, but I'm so excited about the handwriting, and I think it's not just gonna be handwriting. I know that's what I started off with, but I definitely want to do a lot of mindset kind of things, because I've learned so much up until this point, and I still have a lot to learn. So I feel like, you know, coming through with the mindset too is gonna be really, really nice, you know, for whoever is interested in elevating and leveling up and things like that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, because you know you want to. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.